This was the fight that would decide the champion of the 2009 January tournament in the topmost roster in sumo. And 68th Yokozuna Asashoryu secured the championship against Yokozuna Hakuho by lifting him out of the ring. And as he had done so, it was hard to miss the joy in his face. He was undeniably delighted. After being declared the winner, he raised his fists in the air. Then he stepped down the sumo ring, bowing to the sacred ground where for 15 days held the bouts of more than 500 sumo wrestlers. And then he raised his hands again. He even turned to the cheering crowd this time. To most people, you would think that celebrating after winning a big match is just a normal thing to do. But in reality, what sumo wrestler Asashoryu did, this grand celebration of his 23rd time winning the top division championship, that was an anomaly. For the Western audience used to touchdown boogies, finishing line poses, and game-winning leaps, watching a sumo wrestler stoically receive his prize with almost no emotion can feel a little underwhelming.
Everything is about flash now. Yesterday I was watching MMA and the guy that lost was more popular than the guy that won because he's flashy, he's big mouth, everything is trash talking, and that's something you don't get from sumo, which makes sumo very unique. The respect that we have on and off the ring is what makes sumo what it is today. If you take that away, then you're just doing another wrestling kind of thing. It ain't sumo.
It's a difficult concept to grasp, the rigorously guarded image of sumo wrestlers, that they must at all times adhere to a code of dignity, and with it, modesty and humility, a staple in Japanese culture. It's sumo's cultural significance that separates the sport from all other competitive sports. This tradition is strictly guarded because of what it represents for Japan and its people. One must understand that when a person becomes an athlete in the world of sumo, he no longer is a singular entity, but is now part of the entirety of Japan's living history. So for someone who held the title that supposedly signifies the perfect embodiment of a sumo wrestler, when Yokozuna Asashoryu raised his fists, with it, he also raised some trouble. Asashoryu is one of those sumo wrestlers who functions as a litmus test for how one might view the sport. If you are a fan of Asashoryu, you probably are one of those fans who don't hold that much of a conservative view of sumo. Asashoryu, at the peak of his career, kept on challenging traditionalists when he continuously disregarded the strict code of conduct by often marching to the beat of his own drum. He brought with him his fierce personality whenever he stepped into the ring, but he often takes this fiery passion a little too far, like when he gives that extra shove to his opponent, even when he has clearly already won the match, or being too aggressive during sparring sessions, causing injuries to other sumo wrestlers. He even often shows his bad temperament after bouts through intense stare downs, which is not the behavior one would expect of a holder of such a prestigious rank in sumo. But his attitude isn't without substance. Asashoryu became the first Mongolian to reach sumo's highest rank. He's the first and only wrestler to win all 6 official tournaments in Grand Sumo in a single year. His trademark, Sori Otoshi, or lifting body slam, shows just how powerful the 148-kilogram wrestler is, as this technique is often only used on much smaller and weaker opponents. Yet Asashoryu uses this technique on just about anyone. Sometimes he even lifts heavier wrestlers that never fails to get an astonished roar from the audience. But the controversies inside the dohyo fall short compared to those that had occurred outside of it. From brawling with a fellow sumo wrestler in the communal baths, breaking the side mirrors of his opponent's car, to going amok in his sumo stable over wedding arrangements, his decision to retire announced after physically assaulting a restaurant employee on a drunken night out. You would think this retirement will be brought on by a match-fixing scandal, where for the first time in Japanese history, the
Hello and welcome to the rise and fall of Tako no Hana, where me and my co-narrator Graham Densham will be bringing you the story of Tako no Hana Koji, sumo's 65th yokozuna. Having a dominant career spanning 15 years, with 8 of them spent at sumo's highest rank, and born into a sumo family dynasty referred to by many as the Hanada dynasty, which, by the way, will be the next video to follow this one, where we're going to take a deep dive into the full history of the Hanada family, warts and all. With 2 Makushita championships, a Kinboshi over Chiyonafuji early in his top division career, 9 special prizes, 22 top division Makuuchi championships, setting records in his career before Hakuho made it cool. Through injuries and controversy, join us as we take you through the highs and lows of his historic rise to the top of the sumo world and his controversial fall. Nephew of Wako no Hana Kanji 1, aka the Devil of the Doyo, who was yokozuna from 1958 to 1962, and after his retirement in 1962, he established Futagoyama Stable, and son of Tako no Hana Kenshi, also known as the Prince of Sumo, in his time as an Ozeki, where he held the rank for 50 basho from 1972 all the way to 1981, a record at the time, and who after his retirement established Fujishima Stable. So from birth, Tako no Hana was definitely thrust into a role with high expectations early on in his life, a pressure he shared with his older brother Masaru, who became his fellow, yet less successful yokozuna, Wako no Hana Masaru. Before we continue, guys, please like and subscribe to help out the channel, and so you're first to see the latest content, hit that bell. Born in Suginami, August 12, 1972 in Tokyo, but raised in Nakano, Tokyo, a young Koji and his brother had been practicing sumo since elementary school, and he even won the equivalent of a yokozuna title in junior high. After graduating in 1988, he and his elder brother Masaru joined their father's stable. His brother had actually been planning to finish high school, but dropped out as to not lag behind his younger sibling.
Was good enough to earn his promotion.
Association and for failing to cooperate with the investigation. Their recommendation was certified by a meeting of Sumo Association councillors and external members on January. His wife and mother to his children had divorced.
Shorty looks a tad tense. He's in with a good Nodawa, though. Straightens up Takanohana. Moves him back, but Takanohana battles back into it, trying to crowd Arso Shoryu. Get a grip. Instead, he slaps down but loses balance. Arso Shoryu has him in the edge, gives him a pounding. Takanohana tries to hang on to get a grip. He's got the left hand, the right hand both outside. Trying the leg trip is Arso Shoryu, but throwing down Arso Shoryu for the win is Takanohana.
Holy Toledo.